we have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, led astray, run amok, and flat out deceived.
There's something kind of about a kid that's never played baseball.
Make sure to listen to the Armchair Quarterbacks. Good enough for us down here in the bayou. Go Tigers and the Armchair Quarterbacks.
It's morning.
Yes, and what a lovely morning. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked the whole night through.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Armchair.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. The ACC plans to return to its normal 8 conference games divisional format with Notre Dame as an independent when the 2021 football season kicks off in September. With an expected return to a normal season, Notre Dame is returning to its 5-game scheduling partnership, and the league decided to play the 2021 season as originally scheduled. As a result, there are several repeat site games from the 2019 and 2020 season. Clemson, an overwhelming favorite going into the season, opens against Georgia Tech in Charlotte, North Carolina. In addition, there are 4 traditional ACC-SEC rivalry games on the schedule, featuring Miami against Alabama in Atlanta on September 4th, Louisville against Ole Miss in Atlanta on Labor Day night, September 6th, Pitt plays Tennessee, and Florida State will take on the Gators to end the season. Notre Dame opens the season at Florida State Sunday night, September 5th. The Irish will also play Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Virginia, and Virginia Tech in 2021. Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson has requested a trade from the Texans. Watson made the request to the team evidently weeks ago. The news is just coming out. The Texans hired the only black head coach of this cycle, David Culley, from the Baltimore Ravens. Watson, who signed a 4-year, $156 million contract extension in September, is under contract through 2025. He wanted more input on who the Texans hired, and evidently the hiring of Culley has not changed his stance. Watson is the NFL's career leader in completion percentage, ahead of New Orleans Saints' Drew Brees. In 2020, Watson became just the 11th player in NFL history to complete at least 70% of his passes in a single season. And in Pittsburgh, Big Ben Roethlisberger said he's pretty sure he wants to return to the Steelers for 2021 and is willing to do everything he can to help the team despite his massive salary cap hit for the year. Quote, "I want to do everything I can," and made that very clear to them from the very beginning, that it was my idea to basically help the team however I can this year. Money is not an object. The Steelers right now are projected to be nearly $30 million over the cap, and free agents such as Bud Dupree and Juju Smith-Schuster will be top priorities. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast.
I went to save the child, I saw Meredith on the can. Yeah. This morning, I knocked myself in the head with the phone.
That actually took a while. I had to put more and more nickels into his handset until he got used to the weight. And then I just took them all out. These actually don't sound that funny, one after another. But he does deserve it, though.
By the end of the day, my desk was about 2 feet closer to the copier.
Yeah, I just moved it an inch every time I went to the bathroom. And that's how I spent my entire day that day.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi, top of the morning to you. Welcome to the Armchair Quarterbacks Radio Show. I'm McGee, sitting next to Waller and Agolini. Tony, how the hell are you today?
I'm good, man. It's cold here in Jacksonville somehow, but we're good.
Justin, how the hell are you?
Well, I'm still visually impaired after watching 3 periods of the Dallas Stars in their Ice Road Rescue Squad sweaters.
Oof.
But, other than that, I'm good.
4-0, baby.
Hey, they're looking good. Man, what's your take on them sweaters? You like them? You love them? You hate them? How's the...
I didn't really like them. I like the traditional stuff for hockey, but 4-0. They actually have to leave Dallas soon, I think, and broke in a new goalie last night. I think it's his first season. I know it's his first season in the league. He was a top pick a year or two ago, and here he is. So building some depth there, but it's fun. It's it's off to a good start, and we'll see what happens when they go on the road. But they're kind of picking off where they left off last year.
By the way, they suck. They're terrible. They're very Miami Heat-ish is what they look like. I don't know who the hell came up with that. Hell, he sent it to me last night. I thought it was something to do with St. Patrick's Day or something. I was like, do they not know that we're well over a month away from St. Patty's Day? It didn't make any damn sense. Like, why the hell were they glowing neon green?
Yeah, as long as it wasn't my friend that came up with the idea, it didn't bother me too much. But like I said, hockey, I love the traditional sweaters, so not really my thing.
I didn't say Justin came up with the idea. He just sent me the picture. I was like, what the hell am I looking at? I saw it and I was like, I don't get it. Like it was almost like a roller, or what the hell did they used to call that? The
roller derby,
the nighttime bowling, the cyber bowling. That's what it reminded me of. It's like something that a kid would wear to cyber bowling. It was really strange. I would almost get it if there were fans in the stands, but I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Anything to sell a jersey. I will say when, Justin, the Winter Classic jerseys, I thought those were great. I thought those were really cool, but these,
I like both sets of them. This one, I just didn't go. It didn't incorporate it. I get it. You probably wanted to bring some youth in with a splashy jersey like this. I hope that's not the norm for the league, because I don't think we need to see 30 of these things. But
no, not at all.
That would be painful. It was almost like one team forgot to show up for Color Rush night in the NFL is what it looked like last night. I was like, this is bad.
Moving on from that, the University of Florida had some coaching changes. Tony, what say you on you losing your OC?
Yeah, Brian Johnson. I'm happy for him. He gets to go to the NFL. He'll coach quarterbacks for the Jets. I don't know if that's the franchise I would have picked, but they kind of pick you more than you pick them. So he had a couple opportunities as far as interviews go in college. He interviewed for Boise State, supposedly interviewed for South Carolina as well. I don't think he's ready to be a head coach in the SEC. Boise State would have been okay, except you kind of go out there and you get lost. Although I did go to Utah for school anyway. So Florida promoted from within. I think that was the plan all along. I think this didn't shock Mullen. He kind of pushed for Johnson to take another job just to kind of grow himself. During the year, during press conference and stuff, he'd kind of casually mention it. So they promoted Garrick McGee from within. He coached Ryan Mallett at Arkansas, also coached Lamar Jackson at Louisville. And he's been a head coach before, but he was one of the analysts, kind of like Alabama has for us. So there was a succession plan there. And then Torian Gray went to go coach the cornerbacks over at Virginia Tech with his old teammate Shane Beamer. And we hired Jules Monitor from USF and Wesley McGriff from Auburn to kind of help the secondary, which needs all the help they can get after last year. And teach them not to throw shoes and teach them how to, not give 12-yard cushions on 3rd and 10 and, little things like that kind of help you win football games now and then. So hopefully an upgrade. The biggest thing they got to upgrade is, find some guys that can actually convince some high school kids to come to Florida. We've done good in recruiting, but, in the SEC and in the Southeast anyway, you've got to be great. And you've got to keep these talented Florida kids in state and keep them from going to Ohio State and Alabama and Clemson. So, but yeah, we'll see what happens. Like I said, either it works or it doesn't. And I'm not worried about the offense really at all as far as doing enough to win games, but it's a lot easier to win games when you don't have to score 35 or 40 every game.
Well, moving on. Okay. First of all, sorry, I'm sidetracked this morning because this thing that's going on with Dogecoin and Bitcoin and everything's going through the roof. Have any of y'all jumped on this yet, by the way?
No, well, a lot of it's happening when I'm at work. I'm kind of getting like bits and pieces of what's going on.
No, Dogecoin and Bitcoin, you can buy 24/7. You don't act like you're like freaking Jimmy Johnson and you sleeping in your office upside down with no electronics. You can buy it. You can buy it when you're on the crapper if you want to.
I know the story. I know all that stuff. It's pretty funny. I kind of like sticking it to the big hedge fund guys and stuff like that. So it's amusing to me, and it's pretty funny. I was watching news last night, and they're showing like old GameStop footage and kind of going over the company and this, that, and the other, and it's a funny and it's a neat thing too.
Justin, have you bought any? Because I know a lot of our listeners have. I had a bunch of comments last night.
No, I haven't. I've been lazy. Maybe you'll like that answer better. I won't use the work one. I've just been lazy, Mac. I haven't done it. I don't know enough about it, so I haven't joined the bandwagon. I didn't go all Alabama about it.
Here's the thing that's going to drive Bitcoin up today. Elon Musk just tweeted out about Bitcoin. And anytime he tweets out about something, it always goes up. The Dogecoin thing, here's the thing, y'all. It was worth less than a penny for the longest time. In fact, when I first bought it months ago, it was like a third of a penny. And then recently it's been hanging around just below a penny, just over a penny. Right now it's at 6 cents. Okay. So it's skyrocketed. I know that sounds stupid because you're like, it's only worth 6 cents. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But if you put X amount of money in it, it just basically went 600%. They keep the report. I don't know why they're doing this. I'm just reading reports where it's saying it went over 300%. Dude, at one point it was 800%. Last night, twice it reached 8 cents, and then it went back down. Then it reached 8 cents again. And it was. I woke up this morning. It was just under 5 cents, and it's on its way back up to looks like 6 in the very near future. What these people did that made all their money on screwing it to the man, they're taking it and they're putting it into Dogecoin, and that's DOGE for people that are trying to find it, and it's driving the number up. There's talk that thing could be worth $1 by the end of the weekend. Okay, so you're talking about if you put in whatever you put in, it's worth 6 cents now, or we'll even make it easy math, 5 cents. It could be worth 20 times that. Now, there's a lot of speculation because you just don't know. It's kind of like gambling. It's casino gambling is what it almost is, especially when it comes to the coins. The other stuff where they were trying to squeeze the hedge funds for AMC and GameStop, and there's a handful of others. Then Robinhood put the kibosh and shut them down yesterday, and then they opened it back up around 5:30. So some people bought some back in, but they only had about a half hour to do it, and they're limiting the buying on those said stocks. Well, they're opening it back up this morning at 9:30. You're still only limited buying, but you can buy a decent amount. It's not like you can only buy like one share.
Right.
And it went from around $9 a share around 5:30-ish last night to, by the time that the markets closed at 8 o'clock, it's up to $12 a share, and it looks like it's climbing. It looks like that it'll climb into this morning. I'm gonna hold out. I bought mine a little late in the game. I got it at 13. It went up to 19 yesterday, and then people started selling it, but then you found out you couldn't buy it back if you sold it if you were on Robinhood. So I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna play the long game. Because that's what they wanted us to do. The hedge funds wanted us to sell it so they could go back and buy it and cover their asses because they bet against it a long time ago. And they're basically doing all these evil things you see in these movies. That's what they were doing. They were trying to run all these businesses out of business. And so the little man got together and said, why don't we go out and save the AMCs and the GameStops and whatnot? And it pissed off the hedge funds, and that's why they shut them down. And then on a baseball sports on the sports front, the new owner of the Mets helped bail out one of his buddies in the hedge fund, and that's pissed off a lot of people, including the CEO of Barstool Sports, because he got on yesterday and was raising Cain about the fact that he didn't think it was right that Cohen, who is going to want the money from his fans later on this year when they open up the gates, the little man, so to speak, that he went out and basically blocked the little man from making any damn money and helping his buddy out. And so all that's been going around now, and it wouldn't shock me in the very near future if you start seeing stuff like boycott Mets and whatnot, because it's ticked off a lot of people, and for good reason.
Well, yeah, and honestly, minus Pete Alonso, I already boycott the Mets, so we're good to go.
Are you not a Pete Alonso fan now?
No, I said I am. I said other than him, I already boycott the Mets, so we're good.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you denounced his
No.
his
No.
University of Florida hood or something over the pan.
No, we're good.
I was like, did I miss something?
All set.
He spotted in a Georgia hat or something.
I did see O'Day sign with the Yankees for a cool $1.5 million. So
Yeah, he did, and we were disappointed because I thought Atlanta would bring him back.
yeah,
And I really don't know why they didn't. I mean, I know he doesn't have shutdown stuff, but he produces. He produces well. Moving on from that, we got college basketball going on tomorrow. A lot of good games. I was jotting them down, and I was surprised how many good games that we have out there on the docket. I noticed Florida's playing West Virginia at 2:00. The Vols in Kansas, almost said Kentucky. The Vols in Kansas, that's a showdown of top 20 teams. They play at 6:00, and Florida State will be playing Georgia Tech at 4:00 on the ACC network. Bunch of other games. Justin, I'll start with you. The Kentucky Tennessee game. Are you gonna be locked into that, or do you have other commitments, or what?
Well, the way this season started, I was really looking forward to this game, but with the lack of offense, I don't know how well I feel about taking on the Jayhawks. I know they've had their struggles this year as well, but I haven't seen anything that shows me that Tennessee's ready to post a big man down low and actually dominate the paint and get back to the old ways. They're still looking around, searching the perimeter, and causing themselves more difficulties. So I'll be into it. I don't know how much. Got the weekend off of football. I've got a pretty extensive to-do list, or to-go list, I should say. I don't know how much doing there will be, but I will pout and go proudly. Y'all see any sheet sales anywhere? Send me a text so I can limit this search.
Sheet sales?
I'm sure that'll be in the mix. Bath towels. Who knows what else will come up?
Home Depot, Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of them. It's a project mode, and football season's over now. You have all this time.
Right.
Hey, honey, baseball's coming. Brace yourselves. You better have like a 3-week project.
That's right.
Yeah, we're doing our floors in our hallway, and then also going to try to straighten up the garage, which is a much more difficult project. Because for the last several months, we've just been throwing junk in the garage, and I've got to try to make sense of it before the Super Bowl party, because we usually end up filing out there from time to time. And it's kind of a nightmare right now. I mean, it's livable, but you don't want to be dancing around a bunch of boxes and everything. So I get to play that funny game on Sunday. I'm like, really? They really shouldn't have taken a Sunday off, is what they shouldn't have done. I can't even fake my way and go, no, the Pro Bowl, because they canceled that. Got to do the Pro Bowl. I'm looking forward to a lot of games tomorrow. Bama, Oklahoma. the Florida West Virginia game intrigues me, and then of course Florida State Georgia Tech, and then to end it all essentially will be Kansas in the Vols. Texas and Kentucky 8:00. I guess that's the ESPN night game. Kind of figure Texas is going to blow the doors off. Kentucky sucks, and I just don't see. I honestly think Saturday night I'm actually probably going to put it on Celtics Lakers, but I don't. There's not a lot of intrigue. I don't think Kentucky has much of a chance of beating Texas, and if they don't, then there's not a whole lot of reason for me to watch. Tony, what games do you have circled? Oh, Auburn plays Baylor tomorrow at 4:00 too.
Yeah, this SEC Big 12 Challenge they started. It's probably been what's it been, Justin? Like eight years or so now, probably, and it's been great. Like we've had a good matchup every year, and for us, it tends to be either Baylor or West Virginia. And we were supposed to play Oklahoma earlier in the year, not part of this Big 12 Challenge, but that was kind of when we paused and they paused for COVID. But yeah, Oklahoma beating Kansas last weekend ramped this, or earlier this week, ramped up Alabama and Oklahoma. Alabama's on fire. The Primo kid for Alabama is fun to watch. He hits almost everything he takes from 3-point land. Florida, West Virginia, it's a chance for us really to make a statement game. We've had a nice winning streak here. The teams we played haven't really been all that good, except for obviously beating Tennessee. No matter what Justin says, was a big deal for us. Mostly because we couldn't lose that game. But this one's more of a statement game. You can lose this one and be okay. But, with COVID and such a limited out-of-conference schedule this year, we've already lost FSU. This would be a big chance for us to move up seeding-wise. It would really help that net rating and all that kind of stuff. West Virginia plays really good defense. They've got that kind of annoying zone that they play. So we're going to kind of have to shoot our way out of it and hit 10 or 12 threes and see what happens. I wouldn't pick us to win on Saturday, although we are playing better. We've got the full roster back now that Scotty Lewis is playing, which it's funny, he's back in the lineup and things kind of slowed down a little bit Wednesday night again. So I don't think it's him. He's good defensively. He's still kind of awkward on the offensive side. And we let Vanderbilt back into it. We were up 22 and let him get back and make it interesting at the end. But I think that was more. I think with about 10 minutes left, the guys started packing for Morgantown, and that, from a mindset point. So
yeah, that game got a lot closer than it should have because I watched quite a bit of it.
Vandy's awful. Like Pippin's kid's unbelievable. I would love for him to transfer somewhere and go play for a school that's got some guys around him. I think he's probably pretty loyal to Vanderbilt, but I mean that dude's fun to watch, and he was really good last year too.
I don't know how much y'all have seen local, but Stackhouse is calling them out in the media. Hey, we got to find some kids that want to play ball. Right now, I got kids that don't want to play any ball, explicitive. And, just straight calling them out publicly. So, obviously, whatever he's using in the locker room isn't working either. So, there's some dismay over there right now.
Yeah. Auburn, Baylor, Baylor's just been boat racing teams from the get-go. Like, they're getting up 20-4 and stuff like that. So obviously Auburn can't let that happen, but that'll be a fun one. You mentioned Texas, Kentucky. I think Kentucky will keep it close, but and Texas playing really well. Obviously, Shaka Smart's. This has been a big year for him. They were kind of rumbling about him the last couple of years out of Texas.
This is that blue blood nonsense where they figure that the team with the name of Kentucky should be the 8:00 game. But the way I'm looking at it, it should have been the Tennessee Kansas game should have been.
They don't flex these basketball games like they do for football. Like these game times don't change unless
there's so many fans in the stands. You wouldn't want to flex them. You're gonna throw off everyone's schedule. What the hell? They could have easily flip-flopped it around. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's just college basketball. They just don't do it. I'm with you though. It'd be a better primetime matchup.
Oklahoma, the noon game. That game right there should be closer to. Maybe that should have been the 8:00 game.
That one's gonna be awesome. But it's like I said, it's a genius idea, and I'm glad the SEC and Big 12 finally decided to do it. That for a long time the SEC caught a ton of heat for not playing anybody out of conference, and they've done a lot better with that. And obviously with this, it helps because you've got one right in the middle of conference play too. So
I'll tell you another game don't sleep on at 6:00 as well. Virginia and Virginia Tech, they're both ranked and they square off on ESPN at 6:00.
And by the way, FSU's just been I know we don't usually mention it during when I'm on the air, but FSU's been absolutely destroying everybody in hoops. It's been crazy to watch. They're a complete team. As long as they don't have one of those games in the NCAA tournament where they can't find the basket, they've got a real shot to do a lot of big things this year.
I think it's this coming Monday, but it might be the following Monday that they're playing Virginia, and that should be a hell of a ball game. That's the game that I've been looking forward to. I want to say that it's for some reason I think it's the day after the Super Bowl, but I'm going to check it real quick. Yeah, it's okay. So it's a week from Monday. So a week from Monday, Florida State, Virginia. That is the game that I'm looking forward to more than any of them. Well, I say that, but now I don't see it on my schedule, so I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're not playing.
Lots of moving parts this season.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now I'm just curious. I got to find out when the heck that game is because it's driving me nuts. Okay. Well, they moved it. Okay, they moved it again. It's now the 15th, so it'll be a week. It's 2 weeks from Monday. It was originally either this coming Monday or the following Monday, but maybe all those makeup dates that they had to make up. So, all right, fair enough. We got Georgia Tech this weekend. Georgia Tech can be a pain in the ass, but I would think Florida State would beat them. But Georgia Tech usually plays Florida State pretty well. Torrey Pines. Let's move on to that before you have to get out of here. Any big surprises to you?
Not yet. I mean, I caught a good amount of the replay last night. I obviously already knowing what everybody shot. Patrick Reed's at the top of the leaderboard. The guys that played the North course are at a big advantage. That's the easier side. They play on 2 courses the first couple of days, and then everybody goes to the South course on Saturday and Sunday. And the South course is the one that's going to host the U.S. Open down the road. So Reed basically, shot 8 under, but if he played the harder course, he'd probably be at like 2 or 3. So that'll all balance itself out here in the next day or two. Mark Leishman's your defending champ. But yeah, it's a stacked leaderboard. Rory played the front 9 really well yesterday. It's his first tournament back in the States after I think he played in Dubai or wherever the Euro Tour was last week. So it'll be fun to watch. This is kind of the first one that's like in the U.S. mainland, not Hawaii, that's got a stacked field. Last week was kind of everybody looking to get a lot of the younger non-superstars.
They all play on one course yesterday and today, and then they moved to the other one this week.
They split them up. So
wow.
Mickelson played the South course yesterday, and Reed played the North, and they'll just flip flop them, kind of like how they flip flop. If you tee off in the morning on Thursday, you tee off in the afternoon on Friday, kind of like that. So there's only a few tournaments to do it like this, and this is one of them. But they'll get
wild because you go to the weekend and the guys that played on the easy course are transferring over to the hard one and vice versa, right? So they could meet in the middle.
You flop it. Yeah, you flop it Thursday. If you played North yesterday, you play South today, and then everybody plays South over the weekend. So the South course is the superstar.
Oh, it's only one. Okay, it's only Thursday and Friday that they flip.
Right. Yeah.
Gotcha.
They might do something where like the lower leaderboard guys who don't have a shot, maybe they're playing the other one, but I'm 99% sure everybody plays the South course, but that's the one that everybody knows. There's no spectators, so there's not really of an atmosphere there this weekend. As soon as they get out of California, we'll start seeing some fans. The players is in a couple months. They're supposed to do 20% as of now. So
do you know where John Rahm was playing yesterday?
I do not offhand. Let me see if I can.
The reason why I say he finished 3 under, so he's 5 off the lead. But I noticed on the betting sites that he was the odds-on favorite to win the thing. So I was wondering if he was on the easy course or the hard course yesterday. Because
let me see if I can find it real quick. But yeah, he's played well there. He I think this is the one he won on like a 40-foot putt a few years ago, and that might have been his first win on the PGA Tour. If I can find him without slowing down the show, I'll try and do it.
I was just curious if you found that out.
Rob played the South course, so he'll get to play the North course today. So
he played the difficult course yesterday.
Correct.
Okay.
So
all right, so he could make a move. I watched a little bit of it. I saw Rahm on a few holes, and I saw Koepka make a couple of terrible shots, and then Rory McIlroy. I saw him quite a bit. I caught it probably like late afternoon, somewhere around 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday.
Yeah, Koepka was on the South course, so he'll get the easier course today. He was even par yesterday, and McIlroy was 4 under. I think he was 4 under after the front 9, and then kind of was status quo after that. But he had a bogey and a par on the back. But Rory will be on the North course today. So yeah, it's a pretty good split. It is one thing that kind of keeps it interesting on Thursday and Friday. If you played the tough course, and it's not like it's night and day. Like it's not like the South course is super hard, and then it's like, chip and sip Top Golf, at the other course. They're both hard. It's just one's got a higher degree of difficulty than the other one.
What is your walk off of the day, sir?
Apparently the Amazon man's here because my dog's going crazy. But looking forward. You covered all the college basketball. It's going to be a lot of fun this weekend, and we've got another week until the Super Bowl. We'll get there, and I guess we get to spring football. The FCS is getting going here in a few weeks, so we'll have a little bit of something in the spring.
Yeah, and hopefully we get baseball and softball and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, since you mentioned that, I mean the SEC, and I'm pretty sure the ACC is going to do the same thing. Everything starts, I think it's February 19th. It's going to be a normal schedule, 3-game SEC. They were talking about doing some other different stuff, but it's going to be three-game SEC weekend schedule like normal, a weekend or a midweek game or 2 during the week, and Florida and FSU a few times, and everything's going to be status quo with that. It'll just be in the stands. I think they're going to do limited seating, so that's going to kind of suck. But so that'll be baseball, and then football. With the vaccine and all that stuff, football schedules came out. Florida's no real surprise, other than we get Alabama week 3. I knew Alabama was going to be on the schedule at home. I just wasn't sure what week they were going to slot it at. They kind of did to us what they did to Georgia last year, where they did Alabama early. So week 3, we'll know how good we are, I guess, after playing FAU and USF. Willie Taggart.
Bastards, we only have to play Notre Dame to start the season off.
That's right.
Can we not?
Justin, who does Tennessee start with?
Bowling Green.
Okay. All right. Well,
we're gonna need some help. So
we all have different challenges week 1. So, but yeah, no, real quick,
Bowling Green stuff, and Florida State always wants to go out there and take on the Notre Dames of the world. Like, really? I mean, we're terrible. We got to play them the first week.
Yeah.
Well, at least Tennessee finally got smart.
Like ACC has like 4 games in 4 days or something like that over the course of that Labor Day weekend, counting Clemson, Georgia. And
I think Florida State's playing in 3 of them. They want to stay sharp.
It's so all things go so far on college football too. So hopefully by Labor Day we'll all be in a better place and be able to have full stadiums and all that. But what I was going to say real quick, we all kind of sat here on this show and thought there's no way in hell that Danny White would be so lazy and is crazy to bring on Josh Heupel, and a week later here he is as head coach, which totally surprised me. But I guess they're going to go with it. I guess the best thing with him, he is an offensive mind. He's done pretty well with quarterbacks. But I don't know. I think he's a better offense coordinator than a head coach. As a Florida fan, I didn't mind the hire. I would rather they hire him than Hugh Freeze or some of these other guys. So we'll kind of see what happens. But I think maybe they offered a few others, and he's the one that actually wanted to bite the bullet and was willing to take his chances with whatever's coming at Tennessee NCAA wise. So
shots fired, Justin. He's saying as a Florida fan, I'm glad he's coming there. Shots fired.
I mean, you retained Grantham, so you're not stopping anything.
That's the thing. It's like, God, we got to score 55.
We're going 60 on you.
I know. That's the thing. That game will be fun. It should be like 74-68. And, we'll all have a heart attack at some point.
I'm discouraged about it. But can you just please, before you get up there, tell me what it's like to pull for a program or be around one there where people want to come coach there? I mean, can you tell me? I've truly forgotten. I'm tired of begging people. So I just hope the familiarity between White and Heupel through this transition. I mean, he's got a long contract, so that should rest assured he's not looking over his shoulder. Hopefully we can salvage this and get back to being relevant once again.
It happens everywhere, though. I mean, honestly, we ended up with Zook because, Bob Stoops and Mike Shanahan said no to Foley back in the day. And, Will Muschamp, he was high on everybody's list when it happened, but, it didn't pan out. So you can hire a guy that's got all the, the charm and all of the, accolades and all that kind of stuff coming in, and he might suck, or you could bring in a guy that, day one, no one's really impressed with, and he might be really good. So, it's such a crapshoot a lot of times. Sometimes there's an automatic guy in college like Urban Meyer, coming to Florida or something like that. But, some of these guys are guys that might have had different jobs at some point, and all of a sudden they get put in the right situation and they're good. So the other detriment to Tennessee is just going to be what happens in the next year or two with, what Pruitt got fired for and what the ramifications are of that. But hopefully that's not too bad. I don't mind seeing programs lose and all that stuff. I don't want to see everybody on probation. That kind of takes the fun out of everything. And I've been through it, and it's not fun as a fan of that team that gets put on probation either.
All right, well, we have got to run to break. Tony, great job, and we will see you next week, sir.
All right, boys, appreciate it.
Yes, sir. We'll be back in a flash on the Armchair Quarterbacks.
At Shell, we know from the time you get up to the time you wrap up, there's a lot of meetups, eat-ups, and hurry-ups. So come to Shell and get 3 things done at once. Fill up with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus to help keep your engine running like new. Save up with the Fuel Rewards program and never pay full price for gas again. And snack up with in-store rewards to save even more at the pump. Make the most of the stop you need to make with Shell and engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline. See full terms and conditions at fuelrewards.com.
Make contact. A collective psychosis is sweeping the nation. We're in the thick of the haze craze, and Elysian is introducing an altered state of IPA. Contact Haze is a tangled chemistry of mild haze, low bitterness, and an explosion of hop aroma. This hazy IPA bursts with notes of bright raspberry, currant, citrus, guava, and passion fruit. Available in 6-pack cans in stores and in all Seattle Elysian locations. Make contact.
The Armchair Quarterbacks Wake Up Show, the rock and roll of sports talk radio. So turn that auto-tune and mumble crap off from the other guys.
That's the sound of NyQuil Severe hard at work. NyQuil Severe is the best sleep with a cold medicine. No tossing and turning, just rest and recovery. So you're ready to take on tomorrow. For powerful relief of your worst cold and flu symptoms, try NyQuil Severe. The nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, best sleep with a cold medicine. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Welcome back here to the Armchair Quarterbacks. I don't know why that thing died. Well, that thing died quick. We are rolling here on a football Friday, Justin and I, and we are going to dive in real quick to, well, I'll tell you what, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and hit the scoreboard, and then we're going to go diving into the Senior Bowl, which is taking place tomorrow on NFL Network. Real quick in the scoreboard, we've got college basketball. There wasn't a whole hell of a lot that went on last night. There rarely ever is in the world of college basketball on Thursday night. So we'll go ahead and flip over to the NBA. Pistons 107-92 winners over the Lakers. Lakers were on a back-to-back, so I guess that's why they had such a big blowout there. Clippers 109-105 over the Heat. Rockets 104-101 over the Trailblazers, and the Suns pound the Warriors 114-93. And in the National Hockey League, you had a full slate yesterday. Caps over the Islanders 6-3. 1-0 Hurricanes over the Lightning. Bruins 4-1 over the Pens. And the Rangers 3-2 winners in overtime over the Buffalo Sabres. Flyers take out the Devils. Blue Jackets outlast the Panthers, giving the Panthers their first loss, but it was an overtime loss. So they're still just 3-0-1 on the season. The Panthers continue to play pretty well. Canadians 4-2 winners over the Flames. Wild over the Kings. Stars 7-3 over the Red Wings. Avalanche 3-0 winners over the Sharks. Coyotes over the Ducks. Maple Leafs over the Oilers. And the Canucks over the Senators. Blues. Golden Knights was postponed. And that's what's going on in the scoreboards. Real quick on the news front, the Cardinals did sign Adam Wainwright to a 1-year deal yesterday. We kind of talked about that yesterday morning. Is that being a possibility? Angels say that they are out on Bauer, but the Mets are still in, so we'll see what happens there. Reds trying to trade for Cleveland's Ahmad Rosario. Remember, he was the shortstop in the Mets-Indians trade. The Reds are trying to get him. It would be interesting if they end up trading the shortstop that they traded to basically took over Lindor's role. And JBJ could be headed to the Mets. And Jake Arrieta is having a showcase today, Justin, in Texas. And 20 different team scouts are going to be there. So we'll see what happens there. There wasn't really news as far as who they thought had the inside track there. And Alex Avila was signed by the Washington Nationals. So there you have what's happening. And we're going to go ahead and transition over into the Senior Bowl is being played tomorrow. I want to say it's 2:30 Eastern. For some reason that's in my head, but check your local listings. It's on NFL Network, and should be a fun game. As there's a lot of bigger names than I thought would be in the Senior Bowl as we hit the Justin, as we go diving into the Senior Bowl, I was kind of shocked, to be honest with you, that there were the names that are there. Now, the one thing I'm not 100% sure on, when I pulled up the rosters for this, I'm kind of wondering whether or not the games, all the players are going to play. Like, for instance, Devontae Smith is listed on the roster. I mean, didn't the guy just break his hand? Is he going to play in the Senior Bowl?
I doubt it.
Yeah, exactly. But there are big names that if these guys are actually going to play.
Well, that's the big unknown, and why I think this season's Senior Bowl is so important. And you're not hearing a lot of. I mean, you're hearing, oh, Mac Jones looked impressive. You're not hearing a lot of breakdown, but this is the combine for a lot of NFL teams. This is the first time and only time in the past year that they've had a chance on field to see these players. So it's crucial for some of them.
A combine, right? So this is essentially
it's a virtual, but I mean, you're still not getting your hands on your player. You having video. I mean, man, you could do push-ups right now. Is that a combine?
So when you say it's a virtual combine, are the players actually going to do anything?
I don't know how they're going to lay it out. I know that a lot of the media, it's going to be separated, and I don't think there is the proverbial what we've always seen, everybody get together and you do all the events. That's not taking place, if I'm understanding correctly, this year.
Do you have any idea? Because when I saw that they weren't doing it, I thought they weren't doing anything. Do you have any idea if they're going to have these kids, like, are they going to do the shuttle run? Are they going to do the 50-yard dash? Are they going, or 40-yard dash? Or is anyone going to be going out for passes? Or is this literally just going to be a tail of the tape where they go in and weigh them and maybe see what their vertical is, kind of thing?
I think that's probably along the lines of what you're going to see. It'll mostly be interviews and meetings.
That's going to make the draft so difficult to be able to figure out who you want, right?
Well, you better have two good scouts because there's limited scouts down there from every team, and these are the ones that you're about to base multi-million-dollar decisions on here in a couple months on the integrity of some young man and work ethic. So you better hope you got your A game down there in Mobile this weekend.
Go down that weekend, right?
Yeah.
Normally you bring the whole crew with you, but that's just not going to be the case. I know Mac Jones from Alabama is going to be there. Monty Rice, linebacker out of Georgia. Quincy Roche out of Miami, he's an edge rusher. Florida State's got 3 defensive players there. They've got Marvin Wilson, Asim Nasruddin, who's a defensive back. Most people know Wilson's name. He was a defensive tackle that decided to come back for his senior year, and I think his stock plummeted because he really didn't play that well. And then Robinson, the edge rusher out of Florida State. And then I thought I had it jotted down. I don't know what the hell. Oh, Josh Palmer out of Tennessee is there. And then they've got Najee Harris. Is Najee Harris going to play in this game?
No clue, Mac. No clue. Now, after yesterday, Mac Jones has been Mac's been the quarterback that's been separating himself from everybody that's down there out of the invitees, and he had a slight ankle roll yesterday. And if he's not 100%, he's saying he's not going to play. Rules not really a comment as to the condition of it. But what are these agents? You let Mac Jones roll an ankle and see if Najee Harris is agent in on the phone, be like, hey, you ain't playing.
Now, on one of the teams, they've got Sam Ehlinger of Texas, Ian Book, and Felipe Franks all on the same team. So that's interesting. They're calling it the national team. And then the American team, it's weird. The national team has a Dolphins logo. The American team has a Panthers logo.
Because Flores and Rule and their coaching staffs are running the two teams.
But my point is, why wouldn't you flip-flop the names? The Dolphins are in the American Football Conference.
Oh, I got you.
Maybe the American team and the national team, wouldn't that be the Panthers? It's odd. It's odd. The American team, they have some interesting names there as well because, of course, they've got Kyle Trask, Kellen Mond, Mac Jones, and then a guy who's a little unknown to people who don't pay attention to Wake Forest football, but I know Justin's dialed in because he rode Wake Forest 2 seasons ago to like, was it 6 or 7-0 start that they had? Mm-hmm. Jamie Newman, their quarterback is of course he's originally from Georgia, but Jamie Newman is there. So that is a loaded. Is Kyle Trask going to play? Like, I didn't hear Tony say anything about that.
I haven't. Well, I mean, based off what I've seen, the reports from day 3 of practice with Jones and his ankle, it looks like it's going to lean Mond as possibly the starter because Newman's had 4 interceptions in practice. I mean, you got to keep in mind these guys aren't running full offense. They're coming in with their 3 wide receivers or 2 and 1 tight end. They're coming in running 2 or 3 plays, and then it's the next guy in his group rotating in. That's how they're working through this practice. 4 interceptions. Don't think Newman's going to be out there. So when he is, be thinking he'll be stretching it out, being aggressive, trying to erase those interceptions with the.
Well, if you've got 4 quarterbacks and they're all going to play, then I would tend to think that they'll each get to play a quarter, right? I would think.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Based off that, I'm seeing 3. I don't see Trask down there at practice, or I'm not reading of any reports of his practice. So
that makes me wonder.
That leaves them with Mond and Newman, so both of them might get a half.
So Jones may not even be in there. Okay, so
well, he's there until he rolled his ankle, and now it's up in the air whether he'll actually play or not.
Gotcha. So you're not seeing anything on Trask. I haven't seen anything either. And I meant to ask Tony about it and slipped my mind. So I'm thinking, well, hell, I guess we'll just find out tomorrow when the game's played. I am planning on watching the game and watching it in its entirety. I'm going to have that on during the other basketball games. I am working tomorrow, my other gig, but I'll have the TV set up. And I was looking forward to see if Trask would get out there, but I just Mond intrigues me, and then the other 3 quarterbacks intrigue me as well that we talked about on the on the national team, because you had Ian Book, Sam Ellinger, and Felipe Franks are the two that I'm interested in. I just think Ian Book is a backup quarterback at best, no matter where he lands. He's 6 foot tall. And when people downgrade someone and call him a game manager, that's what they're talking about with Ian Book. Ian Book at best is a backup quarterback. But Ellinger and Felipe Franks have the physical tools. And then, of course, the running back out of North Carolina, I want to see him in action, Michael Carter, because he broke some records at North Carolina, and I want to see how he can do, because I don't think I'm going to see Najee Harris. I mean, why would Najee Harris go out there and risk getting his freaking leg broken or something right before the draft? It just doesn't make any sense to me, unless it was like a lifelong dream as a child to play in the Senior Bowl, right? And that could be the case. I did see a couple of quotes by kids saying this is a dream come true. Never thought I'd get to play it. So, there's that. But I would think most of them, their dream come true would be being drafted in the National Football League in the first round, and not go out there and have, your some appendage like hanging off by a limb because you decided to play in a game that means absolutely nothing. But it's usually pretty good. I don't even know if I haven't heard anything about the East-West Shrine game, so I'm assuming that that's not even being played this year because of the coronavirus. So I think this is essentially it. And I saw nothing about. Didn't they get rid of the Gray Bowl, the Blue-Gray All-Star game? I feel like that's gone. If it wasn't, it got cancel cultured. There's no way that thing's still around. I mean, it might be around, but you can't call it the Blue-Gray All-Star game. I can guarantee you that. I remember as a kid, I watched that every single Christmas day, and we looked forward to it. We always knew the North had the upper hand because we knew that the Southern teams were in bowl games. Sorry, dude, but it's the truth. I remember as a kid, I'd sit there and watch with my dad, and he's like, "This is a bunch of crap out here. We're playing up against, Michigan State and whatnot, and the South is rolling out like Grambling because everyone else is in a bowl game." But anyways, so this is essentially it. We get the Senior Bowl tomorrow, and then we get the Super Bowl on a week from Sunday, and that's it. And it's a wrap until next season. Hopefully, by then, all these vaccines will be in place, and we won't have to be on pins and needles every single day about all that's going on in the real world, and we can escape into the fake world of sports. Anywho, let's move on from that. Deshaun Watson. So it comes out yesterday that he did demand a trade, but evidently he demanded it weeks ago. Now, I've yet to see anything where the hiring of the new coach is changing his mind at all. And he was going all woke nation and wanted to be involved in the hiring of the new coach, and was very strong about Bieniemy. I don't know if that was necessarily just because he was an African-American coach, which they did sign. They did hire an African-American coach in Cully. He's coming from Baltimore. But if he's still wanting to be traded, evidently that wasn't enough for Watson. My thought of this is, if this dude wants to dip, I'd try to get as much as I can for him and let him go. Because why do I want this headache for the next several years? Is he going to be all in with us? Can we get a steal? Can we get a Sam Darnold and get Devontae Smith with the number 2 pick overall? Right?
That's the route I would take. I know a lot of people are all questioning, is Darnold that guy? They question him at the Jets. We've already seen Adam Gase ruin multiple quarterbacks. The only one he didn't was Peyton Manning, and it was Peyton freaking Manning. But that didn't make him a quarterback whisperer and open up all these opportunities he's had. And we've constantly seen that it just hadn't been the case. Well, so is Darnold's success or failures and lack of success his own personal problem? He's just not developing, not picking it up, or is it a Gase thing?
That's
because the first 2 years weren't that horrible. They weren't great, but you expect that out of a young player.
And then also remember last season, not this past one, the year before, he was like hit for like a month with mono. So that couldn't have helped things is all I'm putting out there. I'm not saying that that's the reason why he stunk it up. Okay. But that couldn't have helped things.
And I get it. He's not Deshaun Watson. You are definitely taking a step backwards at quarterback, but you're taking a giant leap forward at wide receiver position. And if Sam Darnold can't hit Devontae Smith, trust me, you'll find a quarterback that can. But I think to be able to roll out and play 2021 and get you some draft capital back after O'Brien picked your cupboard bare, yeah, I'm loading up. I'm stocking up on some picks so I can restock my roster.
That's the thing is let's say Darnold is not your guy and you make the trade for him. You still get Devontae Smith out of the deal.
Correct.
And if he stinks, I'm talking about Darnold, then you go into next year's draft and you go head hunting a quarterback. I also would not be above. Okay, first of all, I think you could get this from Houston. I think you could get the Jets. I think you get Darnold. You could get Devon, the number 2 pick overall, and then you could probably get another pick somewhere, right? And I would not be above trading for Darnold, but also drafting. There's a lot of quarterbacks coming out this year, and draft another quarterback. And just see what sticks against the wall, because you never know. You never know. I mean, I feel like the whole thing. If I'm the Texans, I just don't want the headache of. I've got a feeling that as good as Watson is, he's starting to turn into a prima donna, and I don't know if that's what I want when I'm trying to rebuild an entire franchise. And that's kind of where I'm at with that.
I wish we could get back to the days where you actually honored and played out your contract. And this whining and forcing of trades is, really sucks. It sucks for a lot of the fans, the hardworking folks that are putting their butts in the seat and buying the memorabilia and chipping in to fund these salaries. They're watching these games. They're committing their times. And then all of a sudden you didn't like something. So you just demand to run off. You want to quit. You want to take your toys and ask everybody to leave your sandbox. It's not cool with me. So I don't find a lot of sympathy, but I get it in the NFL. It's not a league to where you could just sit on. I wish you could just be like, hey man, you're gonna be a Texan. But that doesn't really accomplish you anything. And with how much money you've got to get return on your investment. So I understand it. I hate it that it's allowed to happen.
And I'm not convinced that Culley's going to be the answer anyways, because you're bringing a guy that ran that Baltimore offense over into Houston. Even if Watson stays, Watson is not built to run the kind of offense that Baltimore has. Baltimore lived off of the run. You have to dedicate several drafts to do that. Baltimore doesn't do it all just with the quarterback. I mean, they've got Dobbins, they've got Edwards, they had Ingram. I found it as a strange hire, to be honest with you. You're bringing a guy who's not going to go to. You either needed to cave and go grab Bieniemy or go grab someone who is an offensive mind. It just seemed like they went kind of halfway in between. They kind of half-assed caving. They gave Deshaun Watson essentially what he wanted, but they didn't give him the guy they wanted. And to me, that's just it's lunacy. But the good news is, if you're a fan of anyone else in the AFC South, the Texans are going to stink for the next. And it won't be long before J.J. Watt starts demanding a trade.
I mean, it's in the NBA where the players are coaching. So, I mean, but it honestly, that's what this felt like, a move. They just brought a body in, somebody that they thought would fill a void and make their quarterback happy. But, I mean, you see it in NBA all the time where these superstar rosters bring in who they want to, I guess, talk to them the way they want when they call timeout. I don't know.
All right, so my walk-off to you is you got to hang out for a couple more minutes as we go to break, because the video that I put up was intended for you, but you showed up late to the party, so I couldn't let you in time. But you got to see this, because I think you're going to get a kick out of it. Plus, you're going to need to start practicing it, and you'll know what I mean by that. What is your walk-off for the day, sir?
I just want to salute all the beer drinking project completers this weekend, doing DIY, do it yourself. And let's get it all done this weekend, because next weekend's Super Bowl and we can't be fooling around before baseball season.
All right. Are you ready, sir?
I'm ready.
Here we go.
Armchair.
CBS Sports Radio.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on CBS Sports Radio, #1 sports station.
Good morning, and this is your Armchair Quarterbacks Sports Flash. The ACC plans to return to its normal 8 conference games divisional format, with Notre Dame as an independent when the 2021 football season kicks off in September. With an expected return to a normal season, Notre Dame is returning to its 5-game scheduling partnership, and the league decided to play the 2021 season as originally scheduled. As a result, there are several repeat site games from the 2019 and 2020 season. Clemson, an overwhelming favorite going into the season, opens against Georgia Tech in Charlotte, North Carolina. In addition, there are 4 traditional ACC-SEC rivalry games on the schedule, featuring Miami against Alabama in Atlanta on September 4th, Louisville against Ole Miss in Atlanta on Labor Day night, September 6th, Pitt plays Tennessee, and Florida State will take on the Gators to end the season. Notre Dame opens the season at Florida State Sunday night, September 5th. The Irish will also play Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Virginia, and Virginia Tech in 2021. Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson has requested a trade from the Texans. Watson made the request to the team evidently weeks ago. The news is just coming out. The Texans hired the only black head coach of this cycle, David Culley, from the Baltimore Ravens. Watson, who signed a 4-year, $156 million contract extension in September, is under contract through 2025. He wanted more input on who the Texans hired, and evidently the hiring of Culley has not changed his stance. Watson is the NFL's career leader in completion percentage, ahead of New Orleans Saints' Drew Brees. In 2020, Watson became just the 11th player in NFL history to complete at least 70% of his passes in a single season. And in Pittsburgh, Big Ben Roethlisberger said he's pretty sure he wants to return to the Steelers for 2021 and is willing to do everything he can to help the team despite his massive salary cap hit for the year. Quote, "I want to do everything I can," and made that very clear to them from the very beginning, that it was my idea to basically help the team however I can this year. Money is not an object. The Steelers right now are projected to be nearly $30 million over the cap, and free agents such as Bud Dupree and Juju Smith-Schuster will be top priorities. And that's your Armchair Quarterback Sports Flash. Stay tuned for more of the Armchair Quarterbacks YouTube Live. Please like, subscribe, and share our show today. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for sports talk, live from the First Coast.
If the two of you got through 2020 together, you can get through anything. This holiday, make it official with a stunning engagement ring from Shane Company. Create your unique ring in 3 easy steps. Simply pick a setting, choose a natural diamond, ruby, or sapphire center stone. Then add your own touch, like a decorative crown or a personal engraving. Here's another option. Select one of our perfectly preset engagement rings. Each of these rings is already set with the shape and size center stone that our designers envisioned, which means that your ring will be perfect. Because our quality standards are the highest in the industry, we're able to guarantee your ring for free for life. This year and every year after, we'll be here for you. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and shaneco.com. Open weekdays 10 till 8, Saturday 10 till 5, and Sunday noon till 5.
Amazon Prime members now get free grocery delivery with a minimum order. You'll get your groceries with 2-hour delivery. So in that time, you can finally figure out where the biblioteca is, learn how to play the acoustic guitar, and I guess get a puka shell necklace. Do a makeup tutorial, but realize halfway contouring is hard, and you're beautiful just as you are. Whatever it is you're doing with your time, your shopper will be carefully picking out your favorite organic meats, produce, dairy, and snacks while providing contactless delivery to your door. Free 2-hour grocery delivery, now with Prime.
Sexual realignment used to require expensive surgery, months of hormone treatments, years of therapy, and you still ended up looking like a drag queen. Now you can let the woman inside come out in the privacy and comfort of your own home, and it's as fast as this.
See? Now I'm a woman, thanks to Rapidite. This do-it-yourself sexual realignment kit includes everything you need to go from Brad to Brenda in a jiff, and away you go. Do it in the bathroom and surprise your family with the new you. Comes with an instructional video, rusty knife and tourniquet, 2 aspirins, and 47 pounds of estrogen. When it's time for a change, you want it fast. Rapidite, the do-it-yourself sexual realignment kit.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Look, you can stay here in the big leagues and play by the rules, or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes. And it's the choice of a new generation.
I've been hoodwinked. I've been bamboozled. Left for dead.
Welcome back here to the Armchair Quarterbacks. And it's Friday, and that means it's Matt Carr time. Matt, how are y'all doing, man? Are y'all feeling better?
Yeah, everybody's good. The little one, like you know, came down with the stuff on Wednesday. I think her fever broke on Wednesday night or Thursday night, so she's doing better. She still looks a little weak in the eyes, but she's I think she's it's quicker in little kids. I know that's what I found out is it's a lot quicker in newbies.
Right. Well, that's what they say is that the younger you are, actually, the better off that you are. They weren't 100% sure about that when it all first started, but
my 5-year-old, almost 5-year-old, me and her have not got it. We've been kind of separating in our house from her. Like I'll hang out with her for a second and then go other room. But like I said, she's over the hump. Like I said, it was pretty quick. It was pretty scary for a minute. But I wasn't expecting to get that news. Like I said, we took her to the doctor thinking she was teething because she had all the symptoms for teething too. Where the same thing was like, fever, snotty nose, everything's the same thing for teething. And so when they said they did a rapid test on her, and she came back positive. It was kind of like, oh, okay.
Transitioning a little bit from that and the craziness that's going on here at the stock market. Have you been playing along, or have you just been sitting back and watching?
Well, so I did throw 100 like on Monday. I told PJ, me and him have been talking a lot of stock lately. I said, man, I'm going to throw $100 at AMC and see where this gets me. So I made a couple of bucks off of it. I got in at $4.50 or something like that. I didn't go the GameStop route, but I made a couple of bucks off of AMC, and I sold all that to buy Nokia, and I made a very little money off Nokia because that dropped quick.
Yeah, expect a bull rush this morning so the big boys come to work at 4 a.m. But when everybody can get access to it at 9:30, I'm expecting a bull rush. The DOGE coin is one of the ones that right now it's down, but I kind of suspect that it's going to leap up too. I'm a little hesitant to sell it. It's down to 5 cents right now, but yesterday at this time it was barely over a penny. So it's kind of doing this number. Bitcoin's taking off again because Elon Musk went in and tweeted about it, and everyone's just kind of they'll follow his train. But AMC, for instance, pre-market has already shot up to $14 a share.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So yesterday, right around 5:30, when they let everyone back in from Robinhood and whatnot, it was around $9 a share. It closed at around 11, and now it's up to 14. I suspect it's going to take off. That's why I didn't sell. I'm just like, I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. And I'm hoping that they both do well, but at least if one of them does well, I don't totally get screwed in this deal. I've done pretty well over the last few days, all in all. But and I kept my Tesla. I see people are dumping Tesla to try to jump on these. Look, if you try to chase it, you're going to get yourself in trouble that way. In my opinion, you have to get up there, stay in it, and stuff like Tesla that has a long term. Buy it now, man. It's down right now. It's $8.29. I think it was up to $8.80, $8.90 before all this nonsense started at the beginning of the week.
I told you a week or two ago. You text me, you're like, Tesla's up $50, and I was like, okay, Tesla's the future, man. So buy it while it's cheap,
and stick with it. It does not, for very long, stay down.
No.
And so that's where I'm at with that. I'm gonna stick in with AMC. I want to see where it goes today. I'm keeping an eye on Dogecoin, but
you got 20,000 shares. Stay strong, baby.
I've got a lot more than that. I've got several shares. We'll just leave it at that. When I started to jump up yesterday, I started buying it. Then they started limiting it late last night, so it slowed down my purchasing. But if it gets at one point, it was 8 cents a share last night.
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know much about stocks. I've only been doing this for about a year now. But after just watching this last week, it's a very shady game.
It is very shady. What I did was my Triple D stock that I talked about last week and the week before that I basically doubled my money on. I took it and I put it into Dogecoin.
Yes, oh, wow. Yeah, so you do have some shares.
Yeah. So I held on. I took some bit and put it in a Dodge, but I still have a decent amount of bit. I don't have a crazy amount, but I have a decent amount. So I didn't want to take it all out of bit. So I figured bit was going to go back up. So I wanted to kind of stay on that path, so to speak. But
my bad boy is still Palantir. I'm still going that. I've been going long on that. I plan on going long anyway. So if you watch the day-to-days, it'll drive you crazy. But if you have a long-term plan, I think you'll be safe with that. It jumped up to $45 a share on Wednesday, which was an all-time high, and I got in around $24 for a good amount of shares. So I'm riding that for a little while.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty much all in on Dogecoin, Bitcoin, Tesla. Like that's pretty an AMC. I've got most of my stuff in that right now. I want to see where this AMC thing's going. I really do, because I've got a feeling that it's going to break a few banks.
I mean, all you gotta do is have one run,
Right. I mean, I'm seeing people make comments like they made $500,000 yesterday on Dogecoin. I don't know if they're lying, if they're trying to just be braggadocious on Twitter, but it's not impossible. I mean, if you went in hard enough yesterday, you could have made a pretty penny. Let's say if you put $100,000 in yesterday morning on Dogecoin, it went up. Hell, let's say you put $50,000 in on Dogecoin when it was a penny, and you sold it when it was at 8. That's $500,000 right there, essentially. So I don't know what they hit you with the taxes when you go to try to pull that junk out.
Right.
That's how they get you. That is how they get you. But anyways, I'm currently putting some money in on on Bitcoin right now as we speak, because
on Ameritrade, I think you do Robinhood. I do Ameritrade, and you can't do Dogecoin, because I was trying to buy some up yesterday too.
So go put yourself a Robinhood account and just do crypto on that. I'll send you my my thing. It's supposed to get you a free, when you sign up, it's supposed to get you a free a stock. I think I get a stock, but I think I have to have several people to do it. But anyways, I'll go ahead.
I'll send it over. I'll look at it.
Yeah, I'll send it to you because, I mean, even if you just put a little money into it, it's real. What's funny is I can never find you in my freaking phone. I think it's because I got you under something weird.
I had you sent under weird for a while. I was like, I gotta just change his name.
Exactly. But anyways, I'll get that sent out to you. Moving on from that, let's go ahead and dive into the fact that your Vols are back. They're back. They're young, but they're back, and they're going to do well.
They're hungry.
And they're doing another retread coach that didn't do very well the first time. That's
So I texted our friend Wes Cook yesterday. I said, "Who is this guy?" And he sent me several text messages back, and I was like, "Man, it's not even fun to make fun of you anymore." And he's like, "I get it, man." He's like, "It's rough." He's like, "I have people." He's like, "After my show last night," he's like, "I had Georgia, Alabama, Auburn fans come up to me and say, 'No, y'all are good, man. Y'all are back.'" And he's just like, "Shut the hell up, man."
If you look at him, Heupel, you know what he looks like to me? He looks like a younger, slightly skinnier version of Philip Fulmer. I think that's what they did. I think they went and hired another Philip Fulmer. Because he kind of has that, you know,
A young Philip Fulmer.
Right. A young Philip Fulmer. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see how he does. I think he's going to bring in an exciting brand of offense. That's for sure. It's definitely going to be different than the Jeremy Pruitt era. My question is he going to be able to recruit at Tennessee? And that's going to be the name of the game.
And I honestly thought Pruitt was the answer. I really did. He was not.
McDonald's bags was the answer.
I mean, yeah, he had that dollar value.
Did you see he's already landed on his feet? He's going to be some kind of an assistant coach with the New York Jets.
Oh, well, not into that. I don't know if that's a win.
I figure his next stop was the NFL. He was going to have to take like a non-coordinator position, and you're going to have to go the route of like a running back coach or whatnot. Because he's done in college football. He is so toxic. No one can hire him and not expect heavy sanctions on them. Right. So that would be, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how it all unfolds, but I'm not buying it until I see it, man, because their track record has been terrible with coaches.
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't go with like a T. Martin kind of coach, though, honestly, especially in this era.
I am surprised they didn't go get him. Now, maybe he just doesn't want it, because there are a lot of coaches that turned it down that they went after because they don't want to get involved with Tennessee football because they're about to get hit with sanctions, which means you're probably going to lose scholarships. And they had a max exodus already. Was it 5 or 6 of their starters hit the portal? The portal.
Yeah.
And I'm expecting more, to be perfectly honest with you. I think a lot of kids are like, I'm not going to do this. I'm a junior. I'm a senior. I'm a sophomore. I'm not going to go through a rebuild. God, just want to come play college football. I don't want to have to redefine what math is my entire time I was here. I mean, every time you turn around, if you're a senior at Tennessee, this is at least your third head coach. So it's just.
And it really is sad, man. Like I give Tennessee a lot of crap. But they used to be a fun team to watch. Like it was fun down here, even as a Florida fan, because you know how Tennessee fans are when they were even halfway decent. I mean, you were scared of Tennessee, and now it's just kind of like a Vanderbilt, Kentucky, Missouri kind of. Okay, well, we're playing Tennessee. It's sad. It's just really sad up here.
Yeah, I mean they're really at the point now where I believe that if this thing doesn't work with Heupel, we in our lifetimes may never see Tennessee back up at the top again. I've already kind of questioned it because it's been 20 years since Tennessee's been a real player, right?
Yeah. Right when I came to college, yeah.
I don't know. It's a disaster, and we'll just leave it at that. All right.
Yeah, that was Clausen. That was Casey Clausen 20 years ago.
What's that?
I said, yeah, 20 years ago. That was Casey Clausen when last time they were kind of relevant.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're at no point in shape. I don't know how you're going to bring in big recruits at this point because the constant change, and also you're going to be competing against Georgia. You're going to be competing against Florida in that division. Kentucky's not really a slouch anymore.
Right.
You got Missouri, and then I don't know what Beamer's going to be able to do at South Carolina. The biggest question you have is who's going to do better job, Beamer at South Carolina or Heupel at Tennessee?
Right. And I would assume, I don't know. I mean, it's just like I said, it's just really sad because it used to be. You kind of like those games where you get nervous to watch. You're like, all right, yeah, this will be a good game. And now it's like, all right, third week in September. All right, moving on.
I'll tell you one thing: Dogecoin has changed to the point of this. So I had 38 cents left over when I put everything in. They now won't let you. I used to just throw my extra change in Dogecoin. Right. So I if it was, I'd throw 35 cents in there, whatever. Now the bare minimum they're asking for is a 60 cents. So they're, in other words, making you buy 10, and then what they're projecting past that. So you can't even do anything with your 38 cents. You're screwing me.
I'm telling you, it was a shady week, dude. There's just like the little kids make a couple of bucks, and then the big boy SEC comes in and is like, nah, no, that's not right.
Yeah, the Mets owner is in deep doo-doo because he bailed out one of the hedge funds yesterday. And so a lot of people caught wind of that, and they're like, this is ridiculous. You bailed them out while they had like Robinhood shut down and whatnot, and all these people couldn't buy off the AMC and whatnot. And so people are ticked off about it because they're basically saying, you're trying to say you're a man of the people. You want us to come out and support your team this spring, and look what you did. And so it'll be interesting to see if there's any blowback from that. I mean, I was never going to buy a Mets ticket or a Mets jersey anyways, right? But will your average New Yorker who might have had some skin in this game, will they get pissed off enough where they're like, you know what, screw the Mets?
I'm sure New Yorkers say screw the Mets once a day. For lots of reasons.
Yes, for lots of reasons. Moving on from that, we got the Nets, the Celtics. There's trade rumors all over the place. First of all, do the Nets even need Kyrie Irving?
No, and when you text me that, I thought it would be the funniest thing in the world if they get rid of him. They're like, you know what? We got stuff now. I think that would be hilarious if they just get rid of him and cut their losses, go get a couple more of their draft picks back, and just I think that'd be hilarious and just let KD and Harden run the show. I think that'd be hilarious. And no, they don't need him.
Yeah, they're talking about bringing Drummond right now from Detroit, right?
Right.
What if they send Kyrie Irving packing?
Go to Cleveland. Back to Cleveland. That'd be amazing. I would love that.
Love it.
The Earth's a little more flat in Cleveland.
And now they're screwing me again. I tried to buy Bitcoin with the 38 cents. They said you need at least 39 cents. That is a direct attack on me. I'm going to tell you right now.
Everybody's against me.
I'm going to show them. I'm just going to hold on to my 38 cents. Yeah.
You'll see.
Yeah, you'll see. I'm going to make it big. I'm going to be a star in this town.
Y'all see.
Oh, man. I did. The Celtics, the rumor of them going after Julius Randle. I love the move. I don't understand why the Knicks would do it, but I love the move. Do you see that happening?
I would take somebody big. I would like a tall player. I'm not even saying big anymore. I want a tall player besides Taco Fall.
Yeah. What's Manute Bowl up to?
Where's Bobo?
Yeah. Well, where's his son at? His son's playing somewhere.
I want to say Denver, but I don't remember, honestly.
I see him randomly go, that's right, he's in the league, but then I lose interest and I forget where the hell he is.
I want to say Denver or somewhere out west. I don't know though.
Something tells me if the Celtics do get it, they're just going to get. He must not be any good because anyone the Celtics bring in as a big man is trash. Okay, they always get him 2 years after he was pretty good. Enes Kanter,
yeah,
Tristan Thompson.
I didn't mind Cantor. I know you didn't like him, but I didn't mind him.
He wasn't terrible, but my point is he wasn't what you thought he was going to be, right? Like
in this day of the NBA, you need a big three, a big name, and we keep bringing in somebody big, literally, not a big name.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is that if they're going to take that next step, they're going to have to bring in a Julius Randle type, and he's going to have to be the real deal. He's going to have to be, but he's still young. Like, so I don't even know what he brings to the table this early in his career. You don't want to get rid of the Tristan Thompsons and the Theus. I want to keep them with them and spell it with someone else like a Julius Randle. But I don't know. We talked about this last week. If the Celtics don't do something about it, they're going to get ran in the playoffs.
Right.
You can't just not have anyone down there in the paint.
Yeah.
All five jackasses can't be standing behind the 3-point line.
That's what the NBA is, but you still need a big in the NBA.
If you have a big in the NBA, it makes you good, right? It makes you very good. If you don't, then you're just average at best. All right, let's go ahead and start to wind this down here. Where is it at? Get into the weekend watch, and then we'll do our walk-offs and turn back time. What are we watching this weekend? We got the Bucks and Pelicans tonight, 7:30 on ESPN. That's the big game. If you're looking for college hoops, Iowa and Illinois, 9 o'clock on FS1. Saturday, it is jam-packed. You got the Senior Bowl. At noon, you got Bama, Oklahoma. Florida, West Virginia's at 2 p.m. Florida State, Georgia Tech is at 4. Kentucky and the Vols are at 6. Tennessee is now a basketball school like Florida State. And Texas, Kentucky is at 8 o'clock. Celtics, Lakers, by the way, that's Saturday night. That's what I'm going to be dimed in on. Sunday, one good college basketball game. 1 o'clock, Michigan State, Ohio State. That'll be on CBS. And then pretty much you got Torrey Pines. There's not a whole hell of a lot to watch on Sunday because it was supposed to be the Pro Bowl, and obviously that's not going down. So there's essentially nothing. Sunday's a really good day to get junk done, which is what I'll be doing. I got to clean out the garage and all that kind of stuff. So that is your weekend watch, what we are watching. And it is time to turn back time and get the hell out of here with our walk-offs. On this date in 1924, the very first Winter Olympics take place. Remember the Summer Olympics had been going on for about 30, 40 years. They introduced the Winter Olympics for the first time ever, and it was the Swiss team wins the military patrol gold medal at the Chamonix Winter Olympics. It's the first version of the biathlon is essentially what it was. So that was 97 years ago today. And then also on this date, 1989, game-winning RBI official statistic was dropped after 9 years of use. You'll still hear it referenced on like Sports Center and whatnot, but it is not an official stat. At the time, and they only did it for 9 years, Keith Hernandez was the all-time leader with 129 game-winning RBIs. But they dropped the stat, and it's never really came back. So there you go with that. Birthdays. This is hard to believe. 61 years old, Greg Louganis. And Greg Louganis was, when you were growing up as a kid and you talked about swimming, like people say you're the Michael Jordan of, Greg Louganis was the Michael Jordan of swimming. I guess he kind of predates Michael Jordan to a degree. So I guess Michael Jordan was the Greg Louganis of basketball. Greg Louganis was it. And he ended up, contracting AIDS, and then his whole story came out. But 61 years old today. I believe he's in good health. I haven't seen anything on him in a long time. But Greg Louganis, it's so hard to believe how quickly he became American hero, and then when his sexuality came out, people just shunned him. And I'm like, what, did you? Come on, really?
He's a diver.
I mean, come on, seriously. Mark Gasol, by the way, he's 36 years old today. So there you have that. What is your walk off today, sir?
Just staying in quarantine, man. I was supposed to get tested again today to go back to work Monday, but with the little coming down with it, I'm now another 14 days in quarantine, which my work is loving. But I do know now that you can get wine delivered to you in under 2 hours from Publix, so you learn stuff as you're quarantined.
There was an app that popped up yesterday. I don't know what they're talking about, and I wish I could remember the name of it. But they are going all in on serving or delivering booze to you. And I guess they'll go to any liquor store. And I don't know what the cutoff limit is as far as how much you have to buy and whatnot. But I wonder how far this goes before a lawsuit, comes about because someone drinks.
So she came, the lady came to my house. I walked outside. I didn't have my mask on. She had her mask on, and she's just walking. And I was like, hey, just to let you know, this is a COVID house. And it was the equivalent of me saying, I have a gun. Like, she stopped and just looked at me like I was about to kill her. And she's like, didn't know what to do. I was like, I'm just letting you know. I'm like, what do you need from me? I've already paid for everything. She's like, I just need your ID. So she's like, put your ID on the thing and then walk away slowly. So it was just like, it was a very weird reaction when I told her I said this was a COVID house. And
they should probably have that available to put into your order form, right? I
put my date in there, but then they needed to see the official back and front of the card. So I'd walk over there, put my card down. She'd come over, take a picture. And she's like, okay, now I need you to turn the card over. It was like a back and forth. It was just a very weird transaction, but I did get it within 2 hours from Publix. So there you go.
And then an update now. She's now sick. You've given. My walk off is the markets are open. AMC still at $14. AMC is going to skyrocket today. Jump in on AMC, and I wouldn't be scared to throw some money at Dogecoin. It's still only 5 cents. So what are we talking about? If you throw a buck in, you get 20 of them. Who the hell knows? They're talking about the Dogecoin could go up to $1 in the near future. If it does, you're welcome, America. You're welcome.
And this is my last show.
All right, brother. We'll see you next week unless Dogecoin becomes like $1 billion. Then it's like deuces.
Later, bro.
Later.
Goodbye, sweetheart. Well, it's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. We're here weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 5 Pacific. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette.